Okay guys, welcome to another video. In today's video, I want to discuss my Get Home Bag. It's just the backpack that I keep in my truck in case I have to get home. So the first thing I want to address is, to me, and my application and my mission, a Get Home Bag is not a survival kit. So this Get Home Bag is more of a sustainment kit. It's a hiking kit. You need to do some preliminary analysis before you start just throwing stuff in the backpack. So my work is about 8 miles away from my house, and throughout the day, if I'm at a job site, I'm never really more than 20 to 25 miles away from either work or my house. But I don't have, or what you won't see in the kit. So I don't have a lot of survival goodies. I don't have a lot of firearms and survival guns. The reason is I'm going to have one, if not two, guns on me on a daily basis. So I don't need the added burden and weight of more guns. I don't have a lot of trauma kit or trauma heavy bleeding blowout type IFAK kit because I already have one with me. You won't see, I think I have one, maybe two flashlights, but you won't see a lot of flashlights because I normally already have a flashlight with me. You won't see a lot of knives and stuff like that because, well, today it's Victorinox Farmer. So I think I have a fixed blade in there and maybe a multi-tool. And normally I carry a multi-tool with me. You know, the other thing, I already have a multi-tool on my keys and I already have a small flashlight. So these are important things to keep in mind. And I think a lot of people forget, or they don't really EDC what they say to EDC, is figure out what you carry on a daily basis and try not to duplicate it in the kit. Or otherwise you'll have a lot of unneeded redundancy. And redundancy is something you want to stay away from. So with all that said, this is my Get Home Bag. I pack it in a white, I believe this is like a 13 or 20 gallon white garbage bag. The reason is this is in my truck 24/7, except for now. So, you know, even though I keep my truck locked, I don't want someone peeking in the windows and seeing a fresh backpack. So I packed in a garbage bag because who's going to steal a garbage bag? You know, it's either a garbage bag full of trash or it's a garbage bag of miscellaneous clothes and things you're bringing to Goodwill, you know, something like that. So I pack it in a white garbage bag. The garbage bag, maybe you could find other uses for it, or right when you pull it out, you might just leave it with your vehicle. So this is the bag, this is the kit. This is a Camelback linchpin in a gray type color. I think this is right around, it's like 18 pounds. And the reason I want to stay below 20 pounds is with a 20-pound backpack, I can still travel at my normal walking pace of 4 miles an hour. With a bigger, bulkier backpack, not only does it take up more space in your truck, but it slows you down. So that will mean that your adventure or your get home situation will last longer. So keep that in mind. I can't really pinpoint a perfect weight. Every person is different, but test it out, and if you find yourself lugging it and traveling very slow, consider lightening it up just a little bit. Okay, so the first thing I have down here, it's a grabber space tarp. It's a 5x7 shiny tarp with strings attached to the grommets. And then I have a 55-gallon garbage bag, which has a lot of uses wrapped up inside it. These are very cheap, compact, fairly durable. So the next thing, which you don't need, I threw it on here for more security because I keep it tethered in the truck through the garbage bag. This is a climbing ready carabiner. Doesn't weigh that much. And I guess all I can say is you can carry this through security, TSA, and stuff like that. And I've never been stopped. And let's just say it can come in for a lot of uses. So I've always found this practical. The other thing is if you want to hook a spare pair of hiking shoes or something to your bag, you can use that. So the next thing is kind of a gray colored Gore-Tex rain jacket. This is an outdoor research. Most important thing is make sure it has pit zips, because again, you're going to be mobile, and a normal rubberized or sealed in non-breathable rain jacket, you're going to sweat yourself out. Because this has pit zips and because it's lightweight, I can also use this as a windbreaker with the pit zips down, so I don't overheat, but it can protect me from some like wind chill, for example. In the side pocket here is a full canteen of water. So this is 1 liter, a Nalgene Oasis. These things, I've never broken them, and I like them more than USGI canteens. And I kind of like canteens more than round bottles. They just, I don't know, they're easier for me to use. In this pocket here, but I have 2 Cliff Bars. I have a couple instant coffee packs, which I've mixed into cold water just if you need an energy boost. Some Hershey dark chocolate bars, some Heath bars, and then these are called Cliff Shots. So they're these energy chews, which have a lot of kind of natural energy and sugars. This is kind of my hygiene kit, if you will. It just has some after sport wipes. It has a bottle of wash, which actually I'm just noticing now is frozen. This is supposed to be like blue, so maybe I'll just take that out of there. Maybe it's a little overkill. I have a bottle of Scope mouthwash. I have some toothpaste, a toothbrush, some toilet paper, and then I have foot powder. Now, I don't use foot powder much on a daily basis, but if I'm going to be walking for miles and miles and miles, I want to keep my feet as comfortable and as clean and dry as possible. So just some Gold Bounds foot powder. My philosophy is like before I put this bag on, I might want to eat some energy, just to have some energy. So I have 2 more Cliffies. I have 2 spare 123 batteries because my EDC flashlight takes 1. And then the reason I pack 2 is because I have a backup flashlight on a headlamp. So this can be used as a headlight or a headlamp or as a handheld flashlight. This is the Streamlight ProTech 1L1AA. And then I have 2 5-hour energies. Again, these are just kind of pick-me-ups. I don't use these really ever. But if the situation dictated, I'm just really low on energy, but I'm a couple miles from home, I can drink 1 or if not both of those. Some chapstick, which I don't use that much. Some Advil. I don't take really Advil or Tylenol or aspirin, but out of the ones I found Advil works the best for me. And again, if I'm going to be walking miles and miles and my knee starts acting up or my back, I start having back pain, I can maybe pop 1 or 2 of these to maybe ease the pain a little bit. And then this one's kind of weird. It's about $5 in quarters. So the next thing is this back pocket. And this is a full Camelback, which I'll take out. Why not? So this is a Camelback. Now, I'm not a fan of Camelbacks. I've had them break on me. I don't like the taste of the water. But again, Mission drives the gear. I want this to be a mobility pack, so this way I can hydrate without stopping to retrieve my canteen. This is a 3-liter Camelback, which came with this bag. I only filled it with 2 liters, and part of the reason why is because it gets really cold, especially in the winter. So this can freeze solid, and I left it not quite full. I filled it with 2 liters. That way it's a little bit lighter, but then expansion room. So if this freezes solid, I won't be able to drink it right away, but because this is right next to my back, and my back sweats and puts off a lot of heat, as I'm walking, this will slowly melt. And then that way, if I find a hose bib or something like that at a building, I can just fill this all the way up. The other thing is if this is frozen solid, I can go to a hose bib and fill it the rest of the way up, and that liquid water will encourage that ice to melt a little quicker. This is a possibles pouch, so I'm not going to be needing to start fires, but if the situation dictates, if I'm really cold, if I do need to hunker down for the night, I just have a Bic lighter, and then some Vaseline soaked cotton balls and aluminum foil. So that's a fire kit. I have some 3 tea lights for maybe to heat my hands up or something like that. This I'll do a video on, but it's a sewing kit, repair kit. It has electrical tape and cloth tape around the outside in a 35mm canister. Oh, so I do have another flashlight. So this is another flashlight. So I could probably take this one out, but this is a Streamlight pen light. I have a roll of Gorilla Tape for, you know, fire starting, for repair, for using as a band-aid, so on and so forth. I have some string in here. It's called bank line, but just some lightweight string. I have a Leatherman Wave and bit kit. Now I already carry a multi-tool with me, so I could probably take this out. This altogether is around 10 to 11 ounces. I have just some household, maybe 12 gauge copper wire, solid copper wire. And one of my favorite things to carry in any type of kit is some zip ties. So these a lot of times I use instead of like duct tape. This duct tape and tie wire, and I can pretty much fix anything. I've used these for countless things. Out of all the things I've used it for, one time I cut through a propane line that was buried, a small like flexible tube, so I actually had to let's say repair that. I kind of had to MacGyver up a little repair using mostly zip ties. But these have a lot of uses. The thing I want to address now too, you might notice I don't have this packed all the way full. The reason why is maybe there's stuff in my truck or my EDC type stuff, my lunchbox, maybe I have some extra food, so that I can just jam in here. So it's not all the way full, I just have it compressed all the way down, but there's a lot extra space. I have a hank of parachute line, and this is called a life straw, or it's a water filter that you just can go up to a source and drink right out of. This one I haven't used, so it's kind of brand new, but I had an extra one, so I threw that in there. In here, this is snivel gear, and this is kind of packed towards the top because I don't know exactly what the temperature will be, but I have a beanie. I have a pair of ragwool gloves, which they aren't the most high-end, warmest ones, but they're surprisingly comfortable and surprisingly warm, and they're very cheap. This is an old pair, so I just threw those in there. And a spare pair of socks. A spare pair of socks is really important. I have just a lightweight knife. This is a Jacari Puko 140, and it's in stainless steel. Part of the reason I packed this is I may or may not put this on my belt. The likelihood of needing it is really low, but the first thing is it kind of looks like a kitchen knife, you know, so if I'm using it or I pull it out and I don't know, there's other people around, I don't know. But it's simple, it's long, it's pretty effective. It can be used as a woods knife, but I'm not really going to be camping or in the woods. And because it has some length, it's not designed for it, but it could, if needed, be used in a self-defense type role. This is an empty water bottle. It's called a Grail, and it's pretty cool because, well, I'm not going to pull it out, but this bottom you fill with dirty water and you press down and it filters the water into here. So maybe a little redundant, but water is kind of going to be my highest likelihood of need, so I have multiple ways to collect water. So in here, I'll take it out. It's a puffy jacket. I won't take it all the way out. It's a puffy jacket, and then inside of that is a polypro top, like a military heavyweight base layer, which is surprisingly very warm. So again, if I do have to sleep at night, I can throw that on in case my shirt that I was wearing throughout the day is all wet and damp. So I can let that other shirt dry. I can put on a dry shirt. I can put on my puffy jacket and sleep at night. This last thing here, it's kind of, I don't know, a ranger roll, maybe you could call it. And it's an SOL Escape Bivy, which I've tested. I've probably done some of the most extensive tests with it. And it's not the greatest thing out there, but for this application it works pretty well. So it's an SOL Escape Bivy, and then inside it's a Sea to Summit Reactor sleeping bag liner. And that just adds a slight amount of comfort and a little bit of warmth. Part of the reason I packed this as opposed to a sleeping bag is loft and limited space. So this, because it's not lofty, I can keep it compressed and tight. It's not the best thing to keep a sleeping bag compressed really tight long term. The thing is, I do have a sleeping bag in my car, so if I do have to make foot travel and it is really cold, I'll take that sleeping bag and just hook it to the bottom of my backpack. But I don't, at 24/7, I don't keep a sleeping bag because I'm not really planning on sleeping or camping out. So this front pouch here is kind of an admin pouch. In here, it's not really a trauma kit, but it has an extra rubber tourniquet, which can also be used as a compression bandage in case I sprain my ankle or something walking. It has a cravat. It has some compressed gauze and a couple gauze pads and some bass tracing. So not really a trauma kit, but I already have trauma type medicine with me. I have yet another water bottle, vapor water bottle. I have 2 glow sticks, I think a white and a green. I have a spoon because they don't weigh that much, and I thought, why not? I have a Silky Pocket Boy. Now, again, this I probably don't need, but they're really compact and lightweight. So this here is it's a space blanket, but it's double to triple the thickness of a normal space blanket. Just another backup. I might not be the only party. You know, it could be me and the girlfriend, or me and maybe a group of people, so I could give this to one of them. In here, I have about 10 Hot Hands hand warmers. If I do need to camp out, I don't have the best sleeping equipment, so I can throw one of these inside of each sock to keep my feet warm. I can throw these, you know, in my back pocket to, you know, I can throw this in my front pocket just to keep my legs warm. I think there's about 10 of them in here, which again might be overkill, but I've never been in a situation where I said, wow, I wish I didn't have so many hand warmers. So this here, I threw in, I had it laying around. It's a 2018 Farmer's Almanac. My reasoning is, you know, if, say I need to wait with my truck or something like that, maybe I called a tow truck, or I do need to camp out, or I'm taking a break, or something like that, I have something to read to keep me busy, to keep my mind off, you know, things. So one of the most important things in this kit, this is called a Silcock key. And this is my primary way that I'm going to get water. So I can go up, pretty much by code, all commercial buildings, they can't have a standard residential hose bib. They need to have, it's a hose bib, it's a high pressure hose bib that you use these 4 keys, and I believe this is the one that most of them are that size, but you can go up to there, turn it on to fill up your Camelback or to fill up your water bottles, and it's clean, potable drinking water. So this is my primary way of collecting water if I need more water. So that's like one of the most important things in this kit. So the last thing, I forget who makes this pouch, but I needed to include it in the kit because it kind of matches, and I'm very concerned about, you know, matching colors. But I have a Right in the Rain notebook. I have a pair of nail clippers because I have multiple toenail issues, hangnails and stuff like that. So I'm always on the lookout for toenails, so I threw them in there. I have a pen, I have a pencil, and then back here is some Band-Aids, some Tums, some aspirin, some Tylenol, some Benadryl, and some moleskin in case I develop a blister. Okay guys, so there it was, all loaded back up. Now before I loaded it up, I shot a second video, which I'll post after this one, showing you the junk that I removed. And the main things I focus on for my Get Home Bag, which I illustrated in this video and the video I just filmed, the main things just from, because I've done some hikes and some walks, just parked my vehicle you know, say 10 miles from home and just walk home. The main things I use is water, snacks, and that's about it. Yeah, that's kind of the best way. That's the way I kind of tailored mine. Is I loaded it with what I thought I might need. I went and I found half, if not more, of the stuff I was carrying I didn't even find the need for, and I didn't want to carry with me. So I just cut it down, cut it down, cut it down. So in the future, I do want to film a video talking my definitions or my philosophy behind a get home bag and a bug out bag and a I'm never coming home bag and a EDC bag and stuff like that. I think a big issue is a lot of people try and combine them all, and they get one big ass backpack that weighs 60, 70 pounds, and they can't walk 100 yards in it without, you know, sweating through all their clothes, and they're miserable and their body's hurting. So in the future, stay tuned for it. In the future, I'm just going to kind of walk through my philosophy or my mindset between those: a bug out bag, a never coming home bag, extended survival kit, EDC kit, and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys liked this video. Hopefully you found it useful. I apologize, it was long-winded. I tend to get long-winded, but I wanted to kind of explain why I carry what I carry. But if you guys liked it, go back to my homepage, watch some of my current videos. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.